Super Summer Sizzler Workout 2 for time: 30 kettlebell deadlifts, 15 GHD sit-ups, 30 kettlebell snatches, 15 GHD sit-ups, 60 kettlebell goblet squats, 15 GHD sit-ups, 30 kettlebell snatches, 15 GHD sit-ups, finishing with 30 more kettlebell deadlifts.
And now let's watch T-Money Mayor and the Big Soul Chicha demo this workout with commentary from Mia and Brandon.
And welcome back to the Marinator, Travis Mayer himself.
The Marinator?
Yeah,
Did you make that up?
I just on the fly right there.
there.
So as everyone already knows, this starts with 30 deadlifts with the kettlebells. You can see how fast both of them are moving. I think
He is sizzling.
he is summer
sizzling.
sizzling.
For those of you doing it at home, make sure you open up your hips, get your shoulders all the way or back behind your hips, because this is a movement that you can go really fast on, especially when you're fresh. So just hold yourself to a good standard. Extend your knees at the top.
Yeah, this is even easier to kind of skirt than a normal deadlift because the kettlebells are on your side. But you can see how fast. I mean, they did those in 30 seconds, so it's 1 second a rep, and they're on to the GHDs. I would say most people, though, you don't watch this and then try to replicate it. Slow yourself down, come up with a pacing strategy, because I promise you the back half of this workout is going to be very tough, and they make it look very easy.
Yeah, it's definitely a grip workout.
For sure.
So even though the deadlifts are going to feel really easy on the front end, it could be smart to just break them up. And a good thing about deadlifts is you lose such a small amount of time by taking a break. So just release the deadlifts for 2 seconds. You don't even have to stand up all the way in between, and then you'll save your grip for the rest of the workout.
It's one of my favorite movements to break because, to Mia's point, it's easy to just drop right back down to the ground and pick them back up. It's not like coming off the rings.
Time. Yeah.
So the kettlebells, you have to do 15 on one arm, and then you'll do 15 on the other arm. So they both chose their right arm first. I don't know if there's a strategy to
I like how
which
Travis is swinging his other arm to get momentum.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense. And by the way, there's going to be a little tip here at the end of this video where Travis talks about the way that you should do a kettlebell snatch. I've seen a lot of people do these, and they kind of like press out, and then the kettlebell nails their forearm. Don't be super bruised the next day. Do it as Travis is doing it here.
So yeah, he makes it look super, super light, super easy. But for most people, really focus on that hip drive so that you're not yanking the bell up so much. Again, talking about grip being a limitation. That can help make this movement a lot easier for you.
And you can see, again, they're staying unbroken with all these movements.
His grips right there?
No, he's not wearing grips.
Yeah, he doesn't have grips.
Yeah, no grips allowed.
When I see those, what are those other things called?
Wrist
things. I always just assume people have grips on.
So you see, Ashleigh was actually to the GHD first there, but it looks like Travis's GHDs are maybe a little bit faster. You can make up some time. There's only, 60 GHDs is still a lot, but there's only 60 GHDs compared to a lot of the workouts we've seen in the Open or quarterfinals a couple years ago. It's like 150. So if you're good at those, you can pick up some time there by going a little bit faster, really trying to pull yourself back to the ground.
Yeah, sets of 15, you definitely want to hold that unbroken and pick other places in the workout to take breaks.
This speed is just absolutely insane. I'm going to go ahead and spoil it. He does these unbroken, so you can see how fast he's going here. He basically keeps this pace the entire time. This is just another warning, I would say, especially with 60 kettlebell goblet squats. Well, that's his one pause. You're going to see how fast he keeps moving. But with those, come up with a pacing strategy, like I'm going to do 15 fast, and then I'm going to break 15 fast, whatever, to get to 60, or maybe it's 30, 15, 15, just so that you are fast in the back half of this workout.
And it is okay to put the kettlebell down at this point in the workout and keep your squat cadence higher versus something I default to when I try to hold big sets of squats is I just start moving so slow and pausing for so long at the top, I might as well just have taken a break.
Yeah, I love the idea of keeping the cadence fast and then taking those really short breaks, or one longer break maybe in the middle, like do 30 really fast, then take a little bit of a longer break. Just keeps you more focused and gives you like micro goals. We talk about this all the time when we do our throwdown workouts, but like set little goals in the workout so that you can keep moving, and psychologically I think that helps.
Something I saw Kyle Ruth do during the age group semifinals was he would hold the goblet or the goblet squat, the handle, and then support underneath the bell and then switch. So that might be a way to let one arm rest a little bit as you're going through it.
The one thing Travis told me, because I was just asking him for feedback after the workout, he said that his shoulders did blow up a little bit there. He's like, I was surprised that my legs actually felt pretty good, but holding the goblet in that position, my shoulders blew up. So to Mia's point, I think that actually will help.
Yeah, play around and find something that's more comfortable for you. So he's still
Where did goblet come from?
Good question, Chris.
Why is it the goblet
Don't
squat?
ask questions we don't know the answers to.
Yeah, I don't know.
his pace basically stayed the same on the GHDs, maybe a little bit slower in that set, knowing that he had to go back to the kettlebell snatches, but you can see he made a ton of time up on the 60 GHD or 60 kettlebell goblet squats.
Obviously for Travis, the answer is there is no bottleneck, but for regular people or most athletes out there, where do you think the crux of this workout is?
I don't know if it's the biggest separator, but the hardest piece is going to be the snatch. So what he's on now, and he said that this, for him, was the hardest part to get through mentally because he knew he had to do 15 on his right and then go to 15 on his left, and it was just really hard to keep him unbroken. Again, like he still looks super smooth here, but I think most people are going to really struggle, and that could blow them up in the back half of the workout. So as always, make sure that you have that strategy again. But I do think the biggest separator is probably in that 60 squats, just because there's more reps there. There's more time to either lose or gain based on your speed of the squat.
Ashleigh moves this kettlebell really well. She makes it look super light, similar to Travis, big hip drive and using the momentum to go overhead versus pulling the bell up.
Yeah, you can see she does a really good job as she comes down to like kind of load her hips, and then she's just extending really aggressively. That lets the kettlebell get up overhead. And you could tell her breathing pattern's actually staying pretty consistent. One of the problems with kettlebells that most people have is since it's not really an odd object, but we don't use them much, they don't know how to breathe through the pattern, like maybe, let's say, a dumbbell snatch. So practicing this before you get into the workout, learning how to breathe as you bring it down and then overhead will really help.
Also, be careful to not press it outside of your shoulder line. So Travis did a good job where he would press and lock straight overhead versus I see people kind of press to the side and then you're not in a stacked position and you're just asking too much of your shoulders at that point. A lot
of shoulder fatigue that way. You can get away with it maybe for a few reps, but doing 30 total reps, in the front and back half of the workout, you'll blow up.
Right. And this is where suck it up and hold on to the kettlebells if you can.
Yeah, totally. This is kind of where the whole pacing strategy, like pace so that you can go fast in the last 15 GHDs and then the last 30 kettlebell deadlifts. As Mia said at the beginning of this workout, it's really easy to cheat this movement, so really stand up. I was telling Travis the entire time, hey, make sure you're getting extension so that we're setting a good standard here. But it's hard with the kettlebells because, again, they're at your side and you kind of feel like you're standing all the way up, but your knees may not be extended or your hips may not be extended.
Right, and he's doing a good job with his speed here, but it's definitely not as fast as the beginning. It's still super fast, so I said, hang on to it, but again, there's a threshold there. If you're moving too slow, it's okay to take a break as long as you keep your reps fast.
Yeah. So he did that in 6 minutes and 51 seconds, which is extremely fast. I think for elite level athletes, those that maybe are in the program that have qualified for semifinals, that's a good target. For most of us, we're probably 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes slower than that based on how good you are with the kettlebells.
She's sizzling.
Look at that hair. Ciao.
Mia, is this a challenge? Like, does it hurt when the hair hits your head?
No, but sometimes on GHDs, it gets stuck on the Velcro of the pad down there.
No, thank you.
Let's see what they had to say.
Oh, okay. We're talking to Mr. Travis Mary. Just did workout 2 for the Summer Sizzler.
That's it, Summer Sizzler.
If we had to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, because we love our rating system here, what would you say? 10 being the hardest, 1 being the easiest workouts that you've done in your life?
Oh. I think each workout is different in its own way.
Stop, just answer the question.
Let's say 6.5 to 7.
6.5 to 7. What was the hardest part of the workout?
I'd say on the way back through after the squats. Just a lot of posterior chain from the hinging, hanging on, trying to keep fast speed the entire time, and try to keep everything unbroken for me was the goal. But that second set of kettlebell snatch got substantially harder than the first set.
So most people aren't going to stay unbroken the entire time. It's just not going to happen. What would you recommend?
Well, you should.
If someone wants to beat your time, they're going to have to stay unbroken. But what would you recommend for the person that maybe is like a bubble level athlete that still wants to be competitive in this, but they know they need a break?
I'd probably break up the squats at halfway almost, or twice in the squats as long as you keep your speed fast. I think if you're able to do the snatches unbroken, that's perfect. If not, break those once, 8-7, other arm 8-7, and then break it like 25 or 30, as long as you can keep speed. I think that's kind of a pretty big important on a workout that's this fast, that if you can keep a fast turnover on all the movements, even if I took 2 or 3 breaks, whatever, it'll still keep you faster overall than having a slow speed that you're trying to hang on to unbroken.
All right, last thing, any tips for the kettlebell snatch? Because most people haven't done many of those, especially not in a workout. What should they be thinking about when they're going through those?
You always want to make sure you're catching completely locked out. I think a lot of people catch and they press into it, which just starts to fatigue the shoulders even more. So when you are turning and punching, it's completely locked. And then to take your breath when it's overhead. So keep everything tight as you hinge down. Let out the air when you're up. Wow. Yeah. But I always try to think when I'm going into it, I'm trying to keep the tension down at the bottom so my spine's not getting sacrificed, and allow the up top portion to just kind of relax. So I'm breathing out there, and then I'm staying tight when I'm bringing the kettlebell down so that I'm able to find a good rhythm.
Can you show us the bad rep you're trying to tell them not to do?
Oh. That. Or that. Where that's just going to be fatiguing and really hard, and then you're going to wake up with really bruised wrists tomorrow. I've done that before. It sucks. Don't do it. But thanks for joining us. And so what's your nickname? Big Salt Chicha. Welcome to the Summer Sizzler. Get it, folks. Get it.